The opportunities are endless, really, aren't they?
They are. Most people that you've that have bought into it so far, have they gone for kind of the invitation format or the favour on the day or the thank you sort of format?
I find most of my couples have gone for favours, and I believe it's because if you say you're a florist or a photographer, everyone knows immediately what that is. I say I make a personalised wedding magazine, and people don't always get it straight away. I have to physically have the product in my hand. And of course, my first few wedding fairs, the Wedition magazines I was showing everyone, they were as favours.
Yeah.
But quite early on, I did get a customer who asked me, could I make it as an invitation? Yes, of course. And since then, since I've shown her her example magazine to others, I've had more people come forward and ask me to make invitations. So at the moment, most of them are favours, but I can certainly see the invitation side of things is really taking off. I've got a couple of festival weddings I'm doing at the moment, plus I've got a destination wedding too, because of course it's ideal for those kind of weddings when there's a lot of information to give to your guests, such as flight times, hotel choices, menu choices, maybe an idea of what there is to do in the area. All those sort of things can be included very simply in this magazine, rather than lots of different bits of pieces of paper, which is often what can happen with festival weddings or weekend weddings.
What's the print deadline then for?
So I give my customers, obviously when you're planning a wedding, it's a really big deal, and it takes up a lot of your time. So I say to my customers they should allow about 3 months. That's more for them than it is for me, because I want them to really enjoy the process of collecting photographs and giving me information for their magazine. So I give them a deadline of about 4 weeks before their wedding as to when they should have the final content submitted to me, and then I deliver the magazine between 1 or 2 weeks before their wedding. It depends on the couple and how eager they are to get it, but I don't want them to feel panicked or that it's, they're rushing to get information to me, or that the magazine is going to be printed too late. I make sure everything is done in good time for their wedding day.
What's so lovely about this magazine is that it's so personal, and every magazine is going to be different, and every bride and groom is looking for something authentic at their wedding, and it becomes increasingly more difficult. But nothing can be more authentic than your own personal magazine.
That's right. I've got some examples here with me today, and you can see how different they all are. Some of them are more rustic looking. I've got one that has nods to Disney. I've got a Christmas themed one. So they're all really individual and unique to the couple. And as part of the process, I print off hard copies for the couple to check. So quite early on, they'll give me, I'll know from the beginning what colours they want me to use and what theme, if there's going to be a theme, and then I will print one off and send it to them so that they can see how the design is developing. And it's also a good way to make sure that I am using the right colours, because obviously there's many different shades of blush pink and and blue and purple. So it's good. They get to see the magazine progressing, and they feel that they have an input as well, because they can say, oh, can I swap this page for that one, or maybe could you change that colour font for me? So I feel like we work on it together a little bit as well.
That's great, actually, and I'm just thinking about the content. I mean, I suppose if people use it as a thank you, then they can include photographs from the day, can't they?
Yes.
And they've got a little bit more time to play with afterwards then.
That's right. As a thank you, it works really well. You can have, obviously, the professional photographs. Yeah. I can do the speeches in there, because quite often you'll be a guest at the wedding, you'll listen to the speech, it's very funny, and then it's all forgotten. But if you have the speech printed in the thank you, especially if it's a particularly funny one, I think it's nice to have it in there. You can have comments from guests, perhaps special memories that they've had of the day. So the bride and groom, obviously they can't be everywhere at every moment, so it's nice sometimes to contact your guests afterwards and say, can you tell me your favourite thing about our special day? And it can really surprise you at what people remember and what they say. And so as a thank you, it does work really well. I'm still waiting for my first thank you customer to come along. I've had lots of interest in it, but I haven't printed one yet.
That's quite a nice way for the couple to remember the day, though, actually, isn't it? Because they can't be everywhere all at once. So if people are making random comments that then it goes into the magazine, that's a good sort of way for them to remember it. Well,
actually, we went to a wedding at Farnham Castle, strangely enough, last year, and the best man read a poem out that he'd written specifically for the bride and groom, and if that was in print, it would be great, because we can't remember it, we haven't recorded it.
That's right, yeah.
So that's a fantastic idea.
And also, it's quite popular these days to ask your guests to contribute to your honeymoon. So if you use Redition as a thank you, you can also include photographs and a diary from your honeymoon, and then it really makes them feel even, I suppose, more closer and, you know, to what they've helped, to what they've put their money towards. So yeah, as a thank you, there's certainly plenty of things you can put in there.
They do look lovely, don't they?
They do. There's so much potential there. Yeah, I was sort of reading all about it last night. I thought, God, this is so exciting.
I know.
And just sort of quickly on costs, it's $3.99. Is that right?
It is. Yeah, I'm really undercharging at the moment. Graphic designers keep telling me I really should be charging more, but at the moment I need to get the brand and the product out there. I need people to recognise what I'm doing. So $3.99. Obviously, a lot of that is my design time. I do get some people ask me, can you print? So $3.99 is for a 16-page magazine, and you get 50 copies. And sometimes I'll get someone ask me, well, can you print less than 50? And I say, well, yes, I can, but it still takes me the same amount of time. So that is the minimum price. And I do find most of my couples like to increase their magazines. Yeah. They like to have an extra 4 pages. So most of the magazines
increase the size, not the quantity.
That's right. Yes, they do. 50 seems to be the right number, because it's generally one magazine between two guests.
Oh, cool.
I mean, some of my customers do order more. I've got a couple that have ordered 70, but most of my couples are quite happy with 50 magazines.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I think we're running out of time now. It's been really, really interesting talking about this. As I say, unfortunately, we're running out of time. So just to finish off, could you just let our listeners how to find you?
Yes. So if you take a look at my website, it's wedition.co.uk.